The following podcast is made up of various scraps of recycled audio recorded randomly over the last 20 years. Nothing within this episode should be considered current or up to date. Listener discretion is advised.
You know who you are? Steven is my name. Even Steven.
Will you say something, Steven?
Steeven Orr Else Media.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Now, before your training begins, I wanted to welcome y'all to your first day here at Solutions Incorporated.
Your first day at Solutions Incorporated.
Yes, thank you, Abner. My name is Virgil Bean. This is my colleague, Abner Franks.
Hello.
We got a lot of ground to cover today, so how about we just get to it?
Let's just get to it.
Now, I'm sure y'all asking yourself, why are we doing our orientation training in a restaurant? Now, that's a valid question.
A valid question.
The answer, on the other hand, ain't quite so simple.
Ain't so simple.
It certainly has nothing to do with not being able to find a free sound file of generic office background noise, I can tell you that much.
No sound file.
So I'm not going to get into the hows and the why-fors and the whatnots. The important thing is that you're all here. And while I don't want to speak for Abner, I, for one, am as pleased as punch.
Pleased as punch.
Now, you'll find in front of you a packet which contains your temporary ID badge. Don't lose it. That badge is your only way in and out of the building.
The only way in and out of the building.
Along with the badge is your insurance paperwork. This paperwork is due back to HR by the end of the week. I would encourage you all to fill it out if you want some medical coverage.
Fill it out if you want medical coverage.
Beyond that, we have a safety video for you to watch, and then we'll take a break before really digging in.
We're going to take a break and then really dig in.
Abner, are you just going to stand there and repeat everything I say?
Repeat everything I mean, no.
Well, that's good, Abner, that's good. Now, before we see that wonderful safety video, Abner has...
Excusez-moi.
Yes, I'm sorry. Let's just let this waiter get by here.
Merci.
Anyway, as I was saying, before we see that wonderful safety video, Abner has a short presentation for you on blood-borne pathogens. Take it away, Abner. Abner? Where'd he get off to, Abner?
Sorry, everyone. Thought I heard one of the diners over there at the next table say they were out of roast beef. False alarm, everyone. False alarm.
From a secret location deep within the hills of eastern Kansas, one man, armed only with a microphone, his voice, and an unnatural gift for hyperbole, brings you the most important podcast in all of human history. It's time to escape from the mundane, ladies and gentlemen. This is Steeven Orr Else. Hello and welcome to another episode of Steeven Orr Else, the podcast in which I get to do whatever I damn well please. I'm your host. My name is Steven, and this, my friends, is your second episode. And what an episode it is. I mean it. Put the kids to bed, toss in a load of laundry, throw on a bib, comb your hair, and make sure you're near a toilet, because this may very well be the single greatest podcast ever created. I'm being sincere here, people. I am not running off at the mouth or picking out my fish before the butchers tied their shoes. Not this guy, not this fella, not this block of cheese. I'm shooting you straight. So believe me when I tell you that this is one amazingly powerful and life-changing show. Now, I know that I'm a proficient podcasting purveyor of hebetudinous hyperbole, but that doesn't make me a prevaricating podcaster who deals in falsehoods and fabrications. No. I'm just a boy podcasting in front of a girl or another boy, possibly a goat. I'm not really sure. I mean, I can't see all y'all out there. All I'm trying to say, folks, is that today's episode is going to be pretty damn good. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. Okay, I took that a step too far. I don't want to die. So yeah, welcome to the show, folks. This episode is just a bit of all right. In October of 1982, movie audiences were introduced to Sylvester Stallone as John Rambo, an ex-Green Beret and Vietnam War veteran with a haunting past. Directed by Ted Kotcheff, The film was grounded in raw intensity and gritty realism, standing out from typical action films by delving into the psychological scars left by war. With a plot that centers on Rambo, a drifter moving through the small town of Hope, Washington, he's quickly seen as an unwanted outsider by the local sheriff, Will Teasel, sparking a violent clash that would become a defining moment in 80s cinema. First Blood wasn't just an action film. It tapped into a larger conversation about the treatment of veterans and the lingering effects of Vietnam, shedding light on the challenges many soldiers faced after returning home. Rambo became a symbol for veterans who felt alienated by society, and his struggle resonated with audiences worldwide. The character would go on to evolve into an action icon in subsequent films, where Rambo's tactical skills and resilience are taken to extremes. However, in First Blood, Rambo is still very much a man haunted by his experiences, simply wanting to be left alone. His trauma, rage, and sense of betrayal were as much part of his character as his fighting skills. What makes First Blood a cultural touchstone is its combination of Stallone's portrayal and the exploration of real issues through an action lens. While later installments of the Rambo series would veer towards grandiose action sequences, the original movie was more intimate, tense, and restrained, with themes that resonated on a deeper, more personal level. The story touches on the real pain of the veteran experience and often thankless return to civilian life. The film's impact was undeniable, cementing Rambo's place in pop culture as the quintessential one-man army, a status that is now as synonymous with the character as Stallone himself. Yet, while First Blood the movie made Rambo a household name, it's worth noting that it diverged significantly from the novel on which it was based. David Morrell's First Blood, published in 1972, presents a darker, more complex story. One where Rambo and Sheriff Teasel are two sides of the same coin, each man wrestling with their own issues and demons. This book is not simply an action thriller, but a psychological exploration of a society fractured by war and misunderstanding. With that in mind, let's dive into Morrell's First Blood, where Rambo's story began.
John Rambo was just passing through town, but they had nothing better to do.
You're looking for trouble. You came to the right place, buddy.
They didn't know how far he would go.
Let's get this.
They knew he was innocent.
You're just another drifter that broke the law. Vagrancy, wasn't it?
They didn't know he had been trained for survival.
Right on top of it. Keep moving. There's no way out of here except through us.
They didn't know he could stalk a soldier by his heartbeat.
You don't seem to want to accept the fact that you're dealing with an expert in guerrilla warfare.
They didn't know they had started a war that they could never win. Sylvester Stallone in First Blood, from the best-selling novel.
In David Morrell's First Blood, readers are introduced to Rambo, a Vietnam veteran whose life has been forever changed by war. Returning to the U.S., Rambo chooses a nomadic lifestyle, keeping himself apart from society as he drifts from place to place. Burdened by trauma and isolation, he's a man without a home, surviving on his terms. Everything he owns is strapped to his back, and his only goal is to keep moving. That is until he reaches Madison, Kentucky, and crosses paths with Sheriff Teasel. Sheriff Will Teasel has his own set of principles and experiences, which are colored by his history in the Korean War. When he spots Rambo, a long-haired drifter, and to his eyes a potential troublemaker, he's immediately wary. To Teasel, Rambo represents the countercultural movement he distrusts, the hippies, the anti-war protests, the challenges to traditional values. Teasel's actions are partly driven by his desire to protect his town and partly by his own insecurities. He feels a duty to shield Madison from what he sees as the disorder Rambo might bring, but this instinct only sparks a tragic cycle of escalation. Teasel repeatedly drives Rambo out of town, each time reinforcing Rambo's feeling of alienation and rejection. When Rambo resists and returns, Teasel escalates further, arresting him for vagrancy. But Teasel has no idea what he's dealing with. Rambo, scarred by years of combat, cannot tolerate confinement or mistreatment. Pushed to his breaking point, he reacts with brutal efficiency, lashing out at Teasel and his men and setting off a deadly game of cat and mouse in the surrounding mountains. Morell's novel is significantly darker and bloodier than the film adaptation. Where the movie stops short of making Rambo a killer, the novel pulls no punches. Rambo's rampage isn't sanitized, and his anger is not justifiable through heroics. In Morell's version, Rambo kills several officers in his attempt to escape, underscoring the devastating effects of his trauma. Morell emphasizes the psychological damage war can do to a person. Through Rambo, he shows how a soldier's training to kill can resurface in unexpected, terrifying ways when the veneer of control slips away. Teasel, too, is more developed in the novel than in the movie. Rather than a one-dimensional antagonist, he is a man fighting his own battles. Both he and Rambo are veterans with different wars etched into their memories. Teasel's war was the Korean War, and his sense of duty is ingrained in him, just as Rambo's survival instincts are. Morell's skillful writing lets readers see the story through both men's eyes, creating a sense of empathy for each character. There are moments where the reader may side with Rambo, understanding his pain and rage, only to feel sympathy for Teasel as he's forced to chase a man he'd rather not harm, but must protect his town from. At its core, First Blood is not simply an action thriller, but an examination of two men pushed beyond their limits by the expectations and cruelties of society. The novel takes a nuanced approach, making it difficult to define a good guy or a bad guy. Teasel's and Rambo's struggles parallel each other, and both ultimately become victims of their own circumstances, bound by the scars left by their experiences. For people familiar only with Stallone's Rambo, Morell's First Blood offers a deeper, more unsettling look at the character. It's a book that grapples with the horrors of war and the alienation felt by those who return from it, unable to fit back into a world that cannot understand their experiences. The novel's high-stakes action and relentless pacing makes it an unforgettable experience, yet it's Morell's willingness to explore the complexities of human nature that elevates First Blood from a simple action tale to a profound commentary on the human cost of war.
Hey, howdy and stuff and all that and everything and all the greetings and salutations and introductions and everything that I can do. I am, of course, Steven. If this sounds kind of funny, I'm holding the phone away from my face much further than I normally do. I had recorded an entire episode already, and I was listening back to it, and all I could do was cringe every time I heard my breath pop into the mic, and it made me want to punch a shark in the nose with a fist made of green beans. I have no idea what that meant at all. But this is going to be a really short, tiny little freaking episode because I'm really angry. I'm really angry about all the big poppy sounds that come from my stupid breath and the way whenever I breathe out of my freaking mouth and my nose, it makes a big huffy sound all over the microphone. And I'm trying to figure this out here. And I know that maybe in the end, y'all probably don't care, the occasional poppy pee. But you know what? It drives me up the freaking wall when I'm listening to it. And I tend to, anytime between when I'm talking, if I have a little puffy puff from my breath when I exhale into the microphone, I go in and take all those out. And I shouldn't have to do that. Only a crazy person would spend the time to do that. And I am a crazy person, but it just drives me nuts. And I don't know what this is going to sound like when I'm all done, but it's going to sound the way it's going to sound. And there's just not a lot that I can freaking do about it. So this is all it is. Just me being angry at myself, at technology, and watching somebody across the street at the convenience store smoking a cigarette. I did have an idea. Let me just throw this at you. I did have an idea the other day, and I thought, you know what? I should do a video, but I don't want to be on the video. I'm hideous. I'm a freaking hideous looking man. Nobody wants to see me on video. But then I was looking around in this borrowed truck that I used to record my episodes, and I thought, maybe I'll do a studio tour. That's right, a tour of the studio in which I record my podcasts. You can see the dashboard and the place where I put my cup and the seat next to me where I put my show notes. And you can see out the freaking windshield at the businesses across the street. Wouldn't that be just amazing? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't at all be amazing, but I think it would be kind of funny. So I may do that this week. I may do a video tour of my studio and put it up there on the YouTube. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. Okay, well, that's it, people. That's it. And I already recorded a whole episode, and I'm going to scrap it because I think it sounds like poop. And I hope that poop didn't sound like poop. I hope my phone is far enough away from my face that it doesn't get all poppy poopy, but that you can understand what I'm saying. I like it when I'm really close up to the microphone because then you can hear my low tones. Then when I'm far away from it, I don't know, it just drives me crazy. All right, I'm going to calm down.
Steeven Orr Else will return after these messages.
There's one thing in life that we all have in common. Each of us have a clavicle. That thin, delicate bone right between your shoulder and neck. It's key for arm movement and stability. It's what connects your shoulder blade to your sternum, making it possible for you to lift, wave, and reach. But what happens when your clavicle just isn't pulling its weight? Well, if you're one of the millions just like me dealing with mild to minimal clavicle discomfort just 2 or 3 times a year, you know how much it can disrupt your day and put you in a foul mood. That almost imperceptible twinge when you reach for something on a high shelf or offer a polite wave or even stir a bowl of soup can be just enough to make life unbearable. Well, that's why there's Tri-Ambla Cortex 323, a revolutionary solution designed to target mild to minimal clavicle irritation right at the source. In my life as a husband, father, and professional snake milker, I've dealt with mild to minimal clavicle discomfort off and on for years. Doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, well, it's annoying. Sometimes I'll go to pull my keys out of my pocket, and there it is, that barely noticeable twinge. Other times, like when I'm pointing in a vague direction or shrugging my shoulders in confusion, that old familiar ache just pops right up. However, since taking Tri-Ambla Cortex 323, all of that's changed. No more mild aches, no more minor clavicle annoyances. Well, I can wave and point. I can give a thumbs up. I can even throw out the occasional jazz hands with confidence, knowing that thanks to Tri-Ambla Cortex 323, my clavicle's gonna feel fine. In fact, I can't feel anything anymore, not even towards other people. Tri-Ambla Cortex 323, because slight clavicle discomfort 2 or 3 times a year doesn't have to rule your life. Talk to your doctor today and ask if Tri-Ambla Cortex 323 is right for you. Tri-Ambla Cortex 323 should not be taken on weekends, during daylight hours, or if you plan on interacting with any others in any social situation. Possible side effects include, but are not limited to, mild detachment, slight loss of enthusiasm for family gatherings, and a newfound appreciation for existential philosophy.
And now, back to Steeven Orr Else.
Now, I want to thank everyone who chose to return from break. I see that we lost about 20% of you, but that's to be expected after seeing that safety video. As for the rest of you, I see you got the note of the location change. We will be concluding today's training, apparently, in this sunny meadow. I do want to say, since the rest of you decided to stick it out following that safety video, you will really enjoy working here at Solutions Incorporated. There are all sorts of fun things we do each week to help folks keep motivated. In fact, next Wednesday will be the monthly food day in which I encourage all of you to participate. Then, once every quarter, there's the squirrel riding competition, followed by the...
Excuse me.
Oh, yes, you had a question?
What's a food day?
What's a food day?
I'll answer that. Food day is my favorite day of the month. It's the day that all the employees bring in great gobs of food. Then at lunchtime, we all get to eat it. It's just the most beautiful thing in the world.
Abner, are you crying?
No, I ain't. I just got something in my eyes all.
Okay, well, as Abner sees to that, once again, I would like to encourage you all to participate in the food day next week. The theme this month is vegetarian, so make sure to bring in your favorite vegan dish to share.
That's a good one.
What?
Good one, what you said. The joke struck me funny is all.
What joke?
Come on now, Virgil. Ain't no time to be modest. You made a joke. It was funny.
I didn't make a joke.
Sure you did. You said that next week would be all vegetarian food.
It is gonna be vegetarian food, Abner. That weren't no joke.
Vegetarian?
Vegetarian.
Vegetables and such?
That's right.
Great Caesar's ghost, man. Do you know what this means?
No meat.
Precisely. No meat, no beef, no chicken, no pork, nothing.
Gonna be okay, Abner.
No, it isn't. Nothing's ever gonna be the same.
Get a hold of yourself, man.
You don't understand. I've been preparing all month.
Preparing for what?
The meat sweats, Virgil. The meat sweats. What am I gonna do now?
I learn something new every day. For example, did you know that alligators can climb fences? It's true. Just go to YouTube and search for alligator climbs fence in Florida, and you'll see it for yourself. Of course, if you're like me, this is the kind of information that will haunt your dreams because I am afraid of alligators. And not just alligators, crocodiles and caimans too. The entire crocodilian family, really. I mean, they just plain terrify me. And it's the kind of deep-seated fear that keeps me awake at night. Especially now that I know that a tall chain-link fence won't save me from an ornery gator with a penchant for parkour. What's funny about this fear, or maybe it's ridiculous, it depends on who you ask, is that I live in Kansas. That's right, the land of wide-open prairies, rolling wheat fields, and exactly 0 free-roaming alligators. So why am I losing sleep over this? Honestly, I don't know if there's an answer to that question. However, in an effort to calm my nerves and reclaim even just a bit of my sanity, I thought, hey, knowledge is power, right? Know your enemy and all that. So I started researching alligators. I mean, surely the more I learn about these creatures, the more rational my fear will become, right? Well, no, not even close. Turns out, the more I learned, the less I wanted to know. And now I'm not just losing sleep, I'm actively avoiding bodies of water, even the Kansas River. You know, just in case an alligator decides to make the cross-country trek. But my loss, folks, is your gain, because through all my exhaustive research, I have compiled a list that I call 5 fantastic and fear-inducing facts about alligators. And it's a list that I would like to share with each and every one of you. Ready? Here we go. Factoid number 1, alligators are old as hell. Alligators are living time capsules, representing one of nature's most enduring designs. These remarkable creatures, along with their crocodilian relatives, have undergone very little evolutionary change over tens of millions of years. While dinosaurs roamed the earth, their ancestors were already thriving in prehistoric swamps. The modern American alligator we know today first appeared around 84 million years ago, while their lineage stretches back over 200 million years to the Triassic period, a time when the first dinosaurs were just beginning to emerge. Despite their resemblance to dinosaurs and their colloquial nickname as living dinosaurs, alligators are not direct descendants of these iconic prehistoric creatures. However, they are closer relatives to dinosaurs and birds than they are to most other reptiles. This is due to a shared ancestry that links them to the group Archosauria, a clade that also includes petrosaurs. Only turtles and tortoises boast an older lineage among reptiles, making alligators one of the most ancient and unchanged designs in the animal kingdom. Alligators' incredible survival can be attributed to their adaptability, resilience, and efficient biological systems, enabling them to endure mass extinctions and drastic changes in climate over millions of years. To see an alligator today is to glimpse a piece of Earth's deep past, a living relic from a world long gone. Factoid number 2, alligators are freshwater fanatics. While alligators and crocodiles share many similarities, their choice of habitat sets them apart in a big way. Alligators are freshwater specialists, and simply aren't built to thrive in salty environments like their crocodile cousins. This is because alligators lack the specialized salt glands that crocodiles have, which allow them to excrete excess salt and live comfortably in brackish or saltwater habitats such as mangrove swamps and coastal estuaries. Without these glands, alligators are unable to regulate the salinity of their bodies, making extended stays in salt waters impossible. However, this doesn't mean alligators completely avoid salt water. In fact, they are opportunistic hunters and will venture near brackish or coastal areas, especially during the spring when freshwater levels can drop significantly. This seasonal behavior is driven by the search for food, as fluctuating water levels can concentrate prey near saltwater edges. Still, they don't linger in salty environments for long, relying on nearby freshwater sources to avoid dehydration and maintain their internal balance. If you ever spot a pair of reptilian eyes breaking the surface of an ocean wave or peering from a salty lagoon, you can almost guarantee you're looking at a crocodile and not an alligator. Factoid number 3, the temperature dictates alligator gender. In the fascinating world of alligators, gender isn't determined by chromosomes, but by something far more unexpected: temperature. Unlike mammals and birds, where sex is hardwired into DNA, an alligator's sex is shaped by the climate of its nest. This remarkable process, known as temperature-dependent sex determination, hinges on the degree of warmth surrounding the developing eggs. Here's how it works. If the temperature within the nest remains relatively warm, which is typically between 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit and 93.2 degrees Fahrenheit, male alligators will develop. Cooler temperatures, below roughly 86 degrees Fahrenheit, will produce females. Temperatures that fall in between these ranges can lead to a mix of sexes within the same clutch. This delicate thermal balance means that even small variations in the environment can have a profound impact on the alligator population. Mother alligators carefully construct their nests from mounds of dirt, vegetation, and debris, using the decaying plant matter to generate heat for incubation. However, they don't have direct control over the temperature, leaving the fate of their offspring's gender in the hands of nature. After about 2 months of incubation, the baby alligators are ready to emerge. At hatching time, the young gators employ a specialized tool, a temporary egg tooth located on the tip of their snouts. This little feature helps them crack open the tough shells of their eggs. Once free, the hatchlings often call out to their mother, who may assist them by gently carrying them in her jaws to the water, ensuring that their first journey into the world is a safe one. This incredible temperature-based sex determination not only highlights the unique biology of alligators, but also underscores how closely tied they are to their environment. Even subtle shifts in climate could tip the balance of their populations, making this one of the many reasons these ancient creatures are so deeply intertwined with the ecosystems they call home. Factoid number 4, alligators are tooth replacement machines. If you've ever seen an alligator's toothy grin, you might not realize just how busy their mouths are. Alligators are equipped with an impressive dental system featuring about 75 to 80 teeth at any given time. But these sharp tools are far from permanent. As alligators grow, hunt, and chomp their way through life, their teeth are constantly being worn down, broken, or lost altogether. To keep their powerful jaws ready for action, alligators can regenerate teeth throughout their lives, up to a jaw-dropping total of 3,000 teeth. This endless cycle of tooth replacement is essential for their survival. Each lost tooth is replaced by a new one waiting in reserve, a process known as polyphyodonty. This feature ensures that the alligators maintain their biting prowess, which is no small feat, considering the sheer force they bring to the table. With a bite strength of nearly 3,000 pounds per square inch, their jaws are among the most powerful in the animal kingdom. For context, that's strong enough to crush turtle shells, splinter bones, and make short work of tough prey like fish, birds, and mammals. The constant turnover of teeth is part of what makes alligators such efficient predators. While their old teeth may wear out under the strain of their incredible bite force, the new teeth ensure their lethal capabilities never falter. This dental durability has helped alligators thrive as apex predators for millions of years, allowing them to take on a wide variety of prey with ease. So the next time you see an alligator basking in the sun, remember that behind their calm exterior lies one of nature's most formidable and well-maintained sets of jaws, a true marvel of evolutionary engineering. And finally, factoid number 5, alligators build gator holes to weather extreme conditions. Alligators are masters of survival, and one of their most fascinating strategies for coping with harsh weather is the creation of gator holes. Unlike mammals that hibernate during cold months, alligators enter a state of dormancy known as brumation, during which their activity levels, metabolism, and heart rate significantly slow down. To prepare for this period, alligators excavate gator holes, carefully dug out depressions or tunnels in the mud that serve as their temporary shelters. Using their awesome feet and snouts, alligators dig out these impressive dens, which can vary widely in size. Some gator holes are shallow resting spots, while others can extend into elaborate tunnels reaching lengths of up to 65 feet. These shelters not only provide protection during colder weather, but also act as a haven in extreme heat, offering cool, moist conditions that are essential for survival in sweltering temperatures. During brumation, which can last up to 5 months in colder climates, alligators enter a state of near inactivity. Their metabolic rate slows to conserve energy, and their heart rate drops to just a few beats per minute. Even in this dormant state, alligators continue to breathe by sticking their snouts just above the surface of the water or through small air holes they maintain in icy conditions. In fact, in areas where temperatures plunge and water freezes, alligators have been observed allowing their snouts to freeze in place, creating a unique snorkel that keeps their airways clear while the rest of their body remains submerged and insulated. Gator holes are more than just personal retreats for alligators. They also play a vital role in their ecosystems. These water-filled depressions often retain moisture even during droughts, providing a critical source of hydration and refuge for other wildlife, including fish, amphibians, and insects. This makes alligators not just survivors, but also ecosystem engineers, shaping their environment in ways that benefit countless other species. And there you have it, folks. 5 facts about alligators that are as fascinating as they are terrifying. From their ancient origins to their incredible jaw strength, these creatures are living proof that nature just ain't messing around. If you're like me, you're probably thinking about building an alligator-proof bunker right about now. But if you're not, maybe you will at least look at them with a new appreciation for just how remarkable they are. And that's something I learned today.
All right, our first story comes from USA Today. This is from June 4th, 2019, and the headline reads, Walmart served Texas family graduation cake made of styrofoam. One high school graduate's party was ruined by a plastic foam cake covered in frosting and decorations, according to Houston TV station KPRC. Marcy Flores, the graduate's mother, told the TV station that a Houston area Walmart gave her a graduation cake made out of plastic foam for her daughter's special day after first failing to prepare a 2-tier cake. The store offered her another, smaller cake free of charge, Flores said, to make up for the initial mistake. All was well until Flores went for a slice during the graduation party when she realized that underneath the requested vanilla frosting and a customized picture of her daughter was a sheet of foam. Quote, "They can't replace the moment that we lost," Flores told the station. "It's a special moment. And this is what we got for it? A styrofoam cake? Not only did they mess up one time, they did it twice." End quote. The family received a $60 gift card from Walmart after the incident, Marcy told
KPRC. Okay, so let me get this straight. A family goes into a Walmart and they order a 2-tier cake for their daughter's graduation. And Walmart is, hey, nope, sorry, we can't do the 2-tier cake. I know we were supposed to get it to you, but you know what? We just didn't. So we're going to give you a smaller cake for free. How's that? Here you go. It's already done. It's got her face on it. Here you go. Very nice. And the freaking cake is made out of styrofoam. How does that work? So did somebody there back in the bakery realize, okay, there's like no way that we can make up a cake in time for this person? We don't have any sheet cakes baked. And we just noticed the ticket lying on the floor. She's supposed to be coming in to get this 2-tier cake. We got the frosting part ready, the little whatever it is that creates that picture on the frosting. We got that ready, but we can do that in like 5 minutes. But we don't have a cake to put it on. That's what takes the long time, is the putting it on the freaking cake, and we don't have any. What are we gonna do? And some dude stepped up and he said, let's frost a sheet of styrofoam. They'll never know the difference. Really? They'll never know the difference. Yeah, they notice the difference. I don't know. I don't get this. I don't get it at all. I'm almost speechless. I don't understand how this could happen. I understand that mistakes happen, and I seriously doubt that they had they made the front, they did the custom frosting with their face in it. So it's not like they accidentally, oops, we accidentally frosted a sheet of styrofoam. How does that happen? I don't get it. I don't understand how we did that. It was, we reached for the cake and we grabbed some styrofoam, but apparently that's what they did. Steeven Orr Else will return after these messages.
Do you like comic books? What about comic books from the 70s? Well, how about sword and sorcery comic books from the 70s that feature a certain barbarian from Cimmeria who seems to spend most of his time wandering the earth, scoring with babes, and fighting wizards and monsters and such? If all of that sounds fantastic, then come explore the Hyborian Age and tread the jeweled thrones of Earth with me, Steeven Orr, and the Hither Came Conan podcast. Together we'll look at Conan the Barbarian, the Marvel comic series that began in 1970, one issue at a time, along with any other Conan comics I can get my hands on. Subscribe to Hither Came Conan now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Enough talk! Remember, the 5th of November.
The gunpowder treason and plot.
For I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Coming soon to the Magazines and Monsters podcast feed.
A deep dive into one of the best works of Alan Moore's career.
Join me, Billy D, and my co-host Dr. Ange as we explore the incredible series
V for Vendetta.
According to the latest report from falsifiedstats.com, there are currently 12 million active comic book podcasts clogging up the internet superhighway, and 2.3 million new comic book podcasts are being created every single day. If you're looking for something a little different, then let me tell you about Mike's Comic Shop Roadshow. Mike travels the globe and visits comic shops along the way, talking to the owners, or really just whomever happens to be minding the store that day. And it's through these conversations that you'll meet some wonderful people and learn how comic shops are run in places like Murfreesboro, Illinois, and Liverpool, New South Wales, Australia. So check out Mike's Comic Shop Roadshow, a truly unique comic book podcast among billions of the same old, same old. Find it now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Mike, and I approve this message.
And now, back to Steeven Orr Else. Our second news story also comes from USA Today, and it's from June 4th as well, 2019. And the headline reads, "When Taco Bell runs out of tacos, who do you call?" One person reportedly called the police. When a Louisiana Taco Bell allegedly ran out of tacos, a consumer called the city's police department to report the travesty. The Slidell Police Department took to its Facebook page Monday to share another "we can't make up this stuff" story. Quote, "Somebody called in to complain that the Taco Bell on Gauze Boulevard ran out of both hard and soft shell tacos," the post said. "While this is truly a travesty, the police can't do anything about this." I'm not, you know what? My original, my gut feeling was to make fun of this, but I have to assume anybody who is calling 911 because a Taco Bell ran out of soft shell tacos and crunchy tacos, I have to assume that there's some neurological issues there. So you know what? I'm not gonna poke fun at this person. They obviously need some help. And that was the news.
I got one comic to talk about today. It's another Image comic. I've been reading a lot of Image comics. This was actually a book that I got over on the Hoopla app. It's called East of West. It's Volume 1, The Promise. It's written by Jonathan Hickman. The art is by Nick Dragata. The colors are by Frank Martin, and the letters by Russ Wooten. Now, first I'm going to read you the description of the book. I often try to do that. I often try to read what the official blurb is for the book before I try my ham-handed way, my ham-fisted way, my mumbly way to describe a book, because I don't think I do. Sometimes I guess I do an okay job, but I think in most cases I don't, which really flies in the face of having a comic book podcast, right? Don't care. So here's the official description. This is the world. It is not the one we wanted, but it is the one we deserve. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse roam the earth, signaling the end times for humanity, and our best hope for life lies in death. Okay, so that sounded really interesting to me, and I gave it a chance, and I started reading it. And man, I can't remember how many issues are in that first trade. It might be 6, but it was probably 75 to 80%. I had to get through 75 to 85% of it before I really kind of understood what was going on. When I read the first few pages, I was really intrigued. It starts off kind of weird. There's this like a Stonehenge looking place out in the middle of nowhere, but all the rocks are floating a few feet off the ground. These 3 kids come barreling out of the earth. They come digging their way out of the earth. There's only 3 of them, and there's one. Then they're like, "Whoa, what is missing?" But he is supposed to be dead, so he should be here. And they roll the bones to see what's going on, and they say, "Well, I guess we'll just have to kill him again," or something like that. It's like, all right, whatever. And then they tell this little history lesson that starts with the Civil War. And there was a soldier in the Civil War whose name I can't recall, who ends up becoming a prophet, a religious man. And near the end of the Civil War, a certain Indian chief swears allegiance to Red Cloud and basically creates just one large Indian nation. And so as the Civil War is ending, then America has to start fighting another war with the Native Americans, because they're now fighting under one banner. It's not just different tribes here and there. It's an army of Native Americans. So now they're fighting 2 wars. Well, this goes on for apparently a decade, maybe 2, and then a comet smashes into the Earth. Doesn't destroy the Earth or anything, but it signals to everyone somehow. They're all like, "Oh, there's a comet. I guess we all should get along." And because of that, they go to what they call the site Armistice. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word. Whenever you got some C's and some S's and a lot of S's and T's in one word, Steven's tongue swells up like a lemon in sunshine. I don't know what that means, but that's what it does. So anyway, they go there to the site where the comet hit to basically sign a treaty, and they form what's called the 7 Nations of America, and that's what America becomes. And then we go to the present. Well, in the meantime, there's all this stuff they're talking about this guy, this prophet, writes this a new proverb or something, and then Red Cloud is in front of all of his people, and he tells them of his vision. And that apparently is happening at the same time as this prophet is writing out the new Proverbs. And as soon as each of them are done, they die. And then 20 years later or something, Mao, I don't know, geez. Today's not a good, you know what? I can't pronounce stuff. That's just the way it is. You either shut the podcast off and go find somebody else to listen to, or just laugh along with me at my inability to pronounce words, because I ain't good at it. Let's move on. So he writes a message, and it's the final part to the message, which has something to do with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Anyway, then they go to suddenly it just bam, shifts to the present. And there's this bar, and man walks into the bar, and he is dressed completely in white, and his skin is white, and his hair is white. The only part about him that's not white is the gun belt and the guns that he's wearing on his hips. He comes in to order a drink, and in with him come these 2 Native Americans. One is a woman who is completely black, and not like African-American black, but like coal black. And I think she might have white hair, white makeup on her face. The other guy is completely white. And so the bartender's like, I don't mind giving you a drink, but you got to get these other 2 out of here, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, everybody's shooting, and the guy in white is still at the bar drinking his drink, but the other 2 that he brought in they just slaughter everyone in the bar. So that was kind of odd. As we progress with the book, we find out that this guy, this cowboy, because it's in the future. There's technology. There's very futuristic technology, but at the same time, it's like a Western. This cowboy, for example, he doesn't ride a horse. He rides some big, weird robot insect looking thing. Visually, it looks freaking cool. And once I got my claws into the story and the story started to make sense, I really enjoyed it. But anyway, we find out this cowboy, he is death. He is the 4th horseman of the apocalypse. And apparently at some point in the past, he had met a woman, fallen in love, got married while he was death. This isn't like I got turned into death. While he was death, met a woman, fell in love. She is a descendant of Mao Zedong. Yeah, shut up. Anyway, they get married. They have a kid. And then the other 3 horsemen of the apocalypse appears to kill her and kill him. He doesn't die. And now he's trying to find everybody who betrayed him and killed his wife so he can kill all them. And there's like the chosen, they all follow the message. The message is apparently their goal in life is to trigger the apocalypse and destroy the world. I don't know why. I don't know what they think they're going to get out of this deal, but that's their goal in life. And basically every nation on the planet has someone in control who is one of these chosen. They're part of they believe in the message. And so death is now going around trying to kill all them. But then he finds out his wife was never killed. She's still alive. So he tracks her down, frees her. She doesn't want to be with him. She's mad at him because he left her and they killed their kid. But he tells her, no, kid's not dead. I just found that out too. I thought you were both dead, but apparently neither of you are dead. And so she says, okay, you go get our son back and then we'll see. And then that's how the book ends. And I know there are quite a few volumes after it because I've looked in Hoopla. So it is something I'm going to continue reading. It was just really confusing at first. It really, like I said, it took me like 85% of the book before I could wrap my arms around it. Now, had I been getting this monthly, I probably would have just kept getting them, even though I was really confused for those first few issues, because it did, regardless of the fact that I was confused and I didn't know what was going on, I kept turning the page, or the electronic page. And the art is beautiful. The art and the colors, freaking beautiful. Nick Dragata and Frank Martin have created a very, very nice looking book. And I'm hoping that they're still on it as the book progresses, because I am going to read more. And if I do, I will, maybe I'll report back on what I read. This is going to be the hard part of doing the podcast, because since I don't get monthly books, I'm only getting trades and whatnot at the library. There are certain, like this one and Paper Girls that I talked about in a previous episode. I want to keep reading those. But if I'm going to keep reading those, I got to be able to make time to read those and read something new each week to talk about on the show. That's just like a big weight that somebody just placed upon my shoulders. But I can do it. I will persevere. I will get this done.
don't understand, Abner. Were you looking forward to the meat sweats?
I don't know, Virgil. I just panicked is all. The thought of an entire meal with no meat just sent my head a-spinning.
Why are we at a swimming pool?
Don't worry about it. You know, this reminds me of the time those gremlins stole my pants.
Good Lord, Abner, not the gremlins again.
I was just a young'un when they came, just a decade old. They crept into my room while I was at summer camp. Summer camp ain't no barrel of monkeys, you know, what with all the war games and accounting tournaments.
Accounting tournaments?
But that was before all them little ducks came out of the lake and started eating everyone's chili. Many a duck met its demise that day, I can tell you.
I'm going home.
It's the bill you gotta go for, Virgil. Kick 'em in the bill. It's the only way to be sure.
I want to thank you for listening to Steeven Orr Else. This episode was written, performed, produced, engineered, and edited by me, Steeven Orr. Questions and comments can be directed to stevenorelse@gmail.com, or you can find me online at all the regular places by searching for @Steeven Orr Else. If you enjoyed the show, you can help to boost our presence online by leaving a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. I also invite you to join our subscription program, Steeven Orr Else Beyond. And in return, you'll get episodes of Steeven Orr Else along with every other show under the Steeven Orr Else media umbrella, early and ad-free. Check out the link in the show notes or just go to SteevenOrElse.com to join today. The Steeven Orr Else podcast is a presentation of Steeven Orr Else Media. For more nerdy content created by me, check out SoManyPodcasts.com. All links will be in the show notes.
I just don't think I can move through life knowing that a guy named Steven did this to me.
How could you let this happen, Steven?
Steven! Thank God. I had a horrible feeling I was going to be the only one here.
Bigfoot stole my wife.
Bigfoot has a name.
I call him Steven now.